Hello everybody, this is Pyra, and we got a really exciting update on the lodestone last night regarding the Moogle treasure trove. So the second hunt for the Genesis commences May 14th. And it says here, it gives us great pleasure to announce the return of the Moogle treasure trove starting Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. So that is actually 1 week from today, 1 week from May 7th. And it says right here, collect irregular tombstones of Genesis 2 by completing specific duties and exchanging them with itinerant Moogles for a host of treasures, including accessories and mounts. Seek out those tombstones and reap the rewards. This time, the Emerald Carbuncle Earring makes its debut as a redeemable item, so don't miss the glistening gem of an opportunity to expand your accessory collection. So we're going to go read details here. They do have a special website for the Moogle treasure trove so that we can look at all of the things that are to come. But before we do so, just a couple notes here that they show in red. Irregular tombstones of Genesis 2 will not be awarded when using adventure squadrons or the duty support system. So if you try to go with your squadrons or with your duty support, you will not be rewarded with these items. This is something that you will need to get from playing with other people or some other ways, and we will check that out on the specific site. And then also it says irregular tombstones of Genesis 2 are only available to unrestricted parties of the level sync option if the level sync option is applied. So unrestricted parties, you can't just go in here at a level 90 going into the low level stuff without the level sync option. You do have to have level sync option in order to get your irregular tombstones to turn in for your items. And now with those specifics out of the way, let's look at the website. And so this is the specialty website for the Moogle treasure trove, the second hunt for Genesis. If you've been doing the Moogle treasure trove before, they changed the system the last time that it came around. So if you haven't done the last iteration of it, please keep an eye out because the system of which you get the tomes and send the tomes are a little different. So let's take a look at the details further. Now, this event is going to start, like we said, Tuesday, May 14th at 1 a.m. Pacific time, and it is going to go through all the way to Monday, June 24th at 7:59 a.m. Pacific time. So this is going to pretty much bring us all the way, almost all the way into Dawn Trail. Remember, the 48 hours prior to Dawn Trail's pre-order release date, the early access launch will be down. The game will be down. So that is probably why we're ending on June 24th, Monday, June 24th. And so it shows right here, collect irregular tombstones and get rare items. So the Moogle, and I'll just read it right here, kind of nice and self-explanatory. The Moogle Treasure Trove is a special event with no set schedule. There are many rewards, including brand new items and other items you may have been after. Complete the objectives and collect the rewards. So TLDR, a lot of stuff, most of them in game. Sometimes this makes it way easier to get the items depending on the type of content that the items are locked behind. And there are usually some new items that are specific to this event, this year being the carbuncle right here, the carbuncle earring. And so the first little note here is the event overview. So again, same times that we had just discussed. It does say, however, date and times are subject to change. And please note that it may take up to 10 minutes after the stated time for the event to commence in game. I guess sometimes they have a little bit of bugs when the launch time happens. And please note the event may be suspended without warning. That is a little ominous. I haven't seen that before. I've never seen them end the event earlier for any reason. They probably just give you those as disclaimers just in case they had to do something with it early. I don't anticipate that happening. If they do, they will tell you as soon as possible. They will let you know if any of the dates and times are subject to change. And then it says right here, in recent years, demand from collectors and historians has led to a surge of adventurers seeking tombstones, those mysterious relics of the Allegan Empire made to record and keep its secrets. Some small numbers of the artifacts, unique for the peculiar sort of knowledge contained within, have piqued the interest of the eccentric, in particular, itinerant Moogles who come bearing rare goods of their own to exchange for these irregular tombstones. Which is a little cute, like, lore behind it. All that is just some cute lore behind the event. So after the event overview, we have to figure out how to participate. If this is the first time that you've done the Moogle Treasure Trove Hunt for Genesis, second Hunt for Genesis, or the Moogle Treasure Trove in general, stick around. If you did the last Moogle Treasure Trove, this is probably repeated information for you. However, if you did not do the most recent Moogle Treasure Trove before this, stick around, because if you didn't catch on the last iteration, the way that you do the Moogle Treasure Trove has changed. So with the first hunt that we had done for this first hunt for Genesis, it has changed from the previous versions of the Moogle Treasure Trove. And so if you haven't seen that yet, let's go look at how to participate now. So the first stop here is consult the Mogpendium. So this is like a little item. If you do the Chloe books or anything of that sort, you'll know that this is an item that stays on you, kind of like one of your key items that you can reference anywhere in the world. You don't have to be just at the itinerant Moogle, and we'll look at him a little bit more after. So during the event, you can check the Mogpendium for important details about associated objectives. You can check what things that you can do, what the categories are, etc. And it also says that in order to obtain this Mogpendium, you must speak to an itinerant Moogle. You have to do this first. In order for any of these duties to make a difference, you have to speak to the itinerant Moogle to obtain the Mogpendium. And we'll look at where you can find those Moogles coming up, but just know that if you haven't received one of these, if you don't have one of these in your inventory, go see one of those Moogles first. And so step 2 on how to participate, it says right here, with 4 different ways to acquire irregular tomestones, you can choose objectives that suit your adventuring style. So there are standard objectives, weekly objectives, mini-mog challenges, and ulti-mog challenges. And it's going to break out right here what each of those mean, because that's kind of a very vague categorizing system. But once you know what they mean, you will be all right. So the first one is these standard objectives. So what makes them standard? You can complete duties repeatedly in order to get your irregular tomestones, and you can keep continuing to get tomestones just by redoing these duties. If that is something that you like to do, if you like to grind the same fight, you can absolutely do that and get irregular tomestones each time. The duties that you'll be looking for, if you are in Duty Finder, you will see this little Moogle icon next to the duties, and that will give you an indication that you will receive some sort of irregular tomestones from completing that duty. And now irregular tomestones can also be acquired from gates in the Gold Saucer and ocean fishing routes. However, there are a couple notes down the bottom here regarding those. First one is kind of like we said on the lodestone, irregular tomestones will not be awarded when using adventurer squadrons or the duty support system. You have to go in with other people. You can't use the squadrons or the trusts in order to get these tomestones. The next red flag alert is irregular tomestone rewards are only available to unrestricted parties if the level sync option is applied. So no unsyncing these things to get a bunch of rewards. You can't unsync them at level 90 and blast through them. You have to have your level sync option applied or no tomestones for you. And the last one is specific to ocean fishing. You must score at least 1,200 points while ocean fishing to be awarded irregular tomestones. They do that because they don't want people just jumping on one of the ocean fishing boats and standing there and not doing anything and then getting the rewards. You have to actually participate, get the 1,200 points, and then you will be rewarded with these irregular tomestones. And so that is everything for the standard objectives. Let's look at weekly objectives. So very self-explanatory. These objectives can only be completed once per week. And I'm going to go straight to this little red alert here. These weekly objectives are updated every Tuesday at 1 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So what that means is every week you are going to get a new weekly objective. It will most likely not be the same. It will pretty much never be the same as the prior week, and you only have that 1 week time period to complete that objective. So if you miss out on last week's, sucks, but you can't go back. You can't get the extra tomes. You have to do the objective within the week that is current. And it says irregular tomestones are rewarded upon completion of the relevant weekly objectives. Each player will be assigned one objective per week from the standard objectives, as we just said. And this is a great way to get your hands on even more irregular tomestones, so be sure to try your luck. So this is kind of like a little nice bonus weekly thing that you can get. And the next category for ways to get irregular tomestones is mini Mog challenges. This is also a once per week thing that you can do in game. And for the mini Mog challenges, you get two options. So you get two different objectives and you have to complete one of them in order to be awarded with these extra irregular tomestones. So it'll usually give you a bunch of different things. And so it shows right here, even things like the hunt, fishing, triple triad, I believe this is fates, maps. Those are just general potential things that you can get from the mini Mog challenges. And again, just like the weekly ones, at Tuesday at 1 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, these will be refreshed. So you can only do it within the week and you will get some extra tomestones that way. And now the last category is Ulti-Mog challenges. So this is completed once per event. So the event period going through June 24th, you can complete this Ulti-Mog challenge once and get those extra tomestones. So it's a sizable tombstone reward awaits those who complete these special tasks. Hungry for adventure, test your mettle and take on an Ulti-Mog challenge. So it doesn't show here any examples. However, it does seem like this would be a big reward for a big duty or a big completion thing. So keep your eye out on what that will mean for you. And that is everything about the categories themselves. Now we move on to step 3 on how to participate. So step 3 is claiming your irregular tomestones. So rewards for standard objectives automatically get added to your inventory upon completion. You will automatically get those irregular tomestones. However, the rewards for weekly objectives, mini Mog challenges, and Ulti-Mog challenges must be claimed from the Mogpendium by pressing the Claim Rewards button. So the button is shown right here. It'll only become available to click once you've completed those weekly mini Mog or Ulti-Mog challenges, and you have to click it in order to actually get the tomestone. So don't forget that, especially if you do some of the special duties. Make sure you consult your Mogpendium afterwards so you can claim the rewards associated. And in red, it just shows here, please note that you will be unable to claim rewards via the Mogpendium after the release of patch 7.05. So definitely get in there. I would recommend the moment you finish your trial or duty or whatever you're in for those rewards, just click it. Don't wait, because if you wait and you forget and then it's past 7.05, nothing for you, and that just sucks. So if you really want to do it as you go along so you don't forget or leave anything behind. And so the next step, step number 4, the final step of how to participate in the Moogle Trove event, is to seek out these itinerant Moogles and exchange your irregular tomestones for items. So, and then again in big writing, they're going to say this so that people don't say, you never told me. Item exchanges will be available until the release of patch 7.1. I don't recommend you wait that long. I wouldn't wait till after Dawntrail, because most people are not going to remember to do this after Dawntrail. However, it is available until before then, and you will be unable to claim rewards via the Mogpendium after the release of patch 7.5. Again, recommendation, do it before Dawntrail. Don't wait. And now these itinerant Moogles you will find at 3 different locations throughout Eorzea in order to exchange your tomestones for items. And this is what they look like. They'll have this special little itinerant Moogle symbol above their head, and they're in Limsa Lominsa Lower Decks, New Gridania, and Ul'dah Steps of Nald. So right outside the crystal in most instances, Ul'dah's the only one where you just have to go up the ramp and you'll see probably everyone hanging out over here. New Gridania, he'll be off to the side over near the crystal as well. And Limsa, if you just load in and if you look in one of the directions, he will be there. So keep an eye on those coordinates, but pretty much the 3 major city-states that we always go to is where you will find these Moogles. And now the moment that you've probably all been waiting for, items awarded. This is everything that you can anticipate from the Moogle Trove event, everything that you can do to try to get any of these items. And so there are a lot of things here. We will go over them briefly. We're not going to go over in too much detail, but the first one is Emerald Carbuncle Earring. This is that special item that is making its debut at this event. This is going to be your high ticket item with 100 tomestones required. Any of the next section is kind of like other bigger things for 50 tomestones. That's the Ufiti horn, which is the monkey that carries you, the cool little Ufiti horn. This is the Gabriel A identification key. The Domakin minion, which is like this cute little goldfishy like minion, and the Blinding Indigo Orchestrion roll, all for 50. And then your next section is going to be 30 tomestones. We're going to get some whistles in here, especially some kind of older things, but it's really great if you haven't been able to get into extreme trials. You can get your shot at getting a Stormblood mount, a Heaven's Word mount, and a Realm Reborn mount. So it is really good if you haven't been able or you haven't had interest in going to the extreme trials. You can potentially get your whistles this way. There are also plenty of Orchestrion rolls, bardings, maps. If you're someone who likes to do map parties, this is a potentially special Time Worn map. So that probably is going to be a really good map to get. You can get some MGP Platinum cards. There are items for your house, including the Crystarium Wardrobe, a low bookshelf, a Philosopher's Stone table. There's some gear here, late Allegan armor. This is PvP armor. If you're someone who doesn't like to do PvP, but you like the look of the armor, you can get it here for 15 tomestones. There are, of course, cards. You can get different triple triad cards, Innocence, 9S, Dalmel, and Paisa. And then we have some more minions, and these have been in the game for a little while, but again, especially for new players or players who haven't done content that have gotten drops for these minions, it's a really cool idea if you want to check some things off your bucket list, or if you're someone like myself who just likes collecting things. It's a good event to do to try to make sure that you have everything. So you get everything from, you know, 1s and 7s and 10s all the way up to 100 tomestones. Something I really like about this is that you'll have something to spend it on. Typically, even if you get through and you buy every single thing and you have every single unique thing that you want, there's always going to be things like the MGP Platinum cards, which just adds 50,000 MGP to your account. So just things like that, like you can keep grinding this event as much or as little as possible, and you will always find things that will benefit you. Yeah, it is a great event to do overall. It is something that I look forward to most every time. This one has a lot of good event rewards on it too. Sometimes the rewards, if you've played for a long time, are very stale and not really anything new. This one, however, has some things that I don't even have, like the Ufiti horn. So I'm excited to do this. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the event. Are you excited for it? Is there anything that you're trying to grind for in this event? And thank you so much for watching. If you would like to see more Final Fantasy XIV news and updates and events updates like this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps the channel a lot. And if you want to hang out with me more, I will have all my links below. I am on Discord all the time. Join our Discord. I stream Final Fantasy XIV about 6 days a week. Everything from casual content all the way up to ultimate rating and everything in between. And we'll see you in game. Bye.